Where are people putting their money? Under their mattresses? Everything is down. Bonds are down. That means yields are up. Oil is gold stocks are down. All the indices are down. The dollar is up. Is that where people are putting their money? Well, I have another question for you. What the heck is LK-99? I know. Do you? Well, you should know. And I'll be talking about that later. And then just for giggles, in the early going, stocks are down and headed down, where Tesla is up all by itself and headed up. Even Apple, who reports later today, is down. This is Randy Kirk. This is the time when you hit the like button, because that helps the algorithm, and you can hit subscribe and hit notify, because you know there's lots of good stuff coming up. And then, of course, you can get a free copy of any one of those 4 books. All you have to do is join Patreon, and it's free right now. Get 7 days free. Now, you don't get your book until you actually come around to the point where you have to pay. I guess that makes sense, right? So 7 days. If you take the 7-day trial, 7 days from now, you get the free book if you join permanently. All right. So let's start with Business Insider. You know those guys. They hate Elon Musk and Tesla. Well, I can't say that for sure, but it sure seems like it. Every evidence would point to that. But they're reporting this morning that Tesla has brand loyalty that is pulling customers away from traditional brands, even ICE brands. It seems that the top of their list of reasons is the supercharging stations. And now Elon is about to do that. They don't report this. I'm reporting this. Elon's about to do that all over again with mega chargers, or chargers for the semi-trucks. He hasn't called them mega chargers. I'm calling them mega chargers. Don't think for a minute that the 9 stations that are being reported, the 9 stations between Texas and California, where Tesla has now applied for federal money to help build those 9 stations. Don't think for a minute that that's the end of it. Oh, no, you can be 100% sure. There is a map of the United States and Canada, and there are mega stations, or semi-truck charging stations laid out across that entire map as to where it's going to be phase 1. These are the ones that'll go in at first. These will go in 3 years from now. These will go in 6 years from now. That's already laid out, and more and more evidence that the semi-trucks are coming, and they're not going to come in small numbers. 50,000, 100,000, more than that per year. It's coming. You can count on it. All right. And why? What can you, I'm trying to figure out. Where is Freightliner? Where is Kenworth? Where is Peterbilt? Where is Volvo? They haven't learned the lesson from the auto superchargers going out ahead of time, the infrastructure being put in place. I don't understand how they cannot be out there also putting together some kind of a plan for their own superchargers across the US. Are they just waiting for Tesla to do it? Yeah, apparently so. So let's talk about this brand new LK-99. Well, LK-99 is the name that everybody's given, or the folks that invented it have given to the room temperature superchargers. This is a very, very, very big deal if it's true. And there's now a betting, they have you have this website where you can go bet on pretty much anything, the presidential elections, etc. Well, right now there's already 2 bets going. The number 1 bet, is it real? And that's shooting around 20 to 30% of the bets are saying it's real. I did a deep dive yesterday afternoon. I tried my best to find out what I think about whether it's real or not real from my scientific knowledge. We know that Brian Wald was on, Brian Wang was on the other day. I had a friend years ago, Brian Wald, and now all of a sudden he pops into my mind because of Brian Wang. Anyway, Brian Wang was on the other day. Now, this is a guy that knows this stuff backwards, forwards, and inside out. He thinks it might be real. Well, we have the Berkeley lab here in the United States that has done an analysis, a computer analysis, and they say, you know what, could be. We've got a Chinese lab that says they've replicated it, or at least come close to replicating it. So there's evidence that's pointing in the direction of it being real. Here's the big question, and the question that Brian asked the other day, that video that I highly recommended that you take a look at. I don't know if you did yet or not, where we go into deep analysis of this. But Brian says, what in the world? Why hasn't Elon Musk tweeted 1 word about this? There hasn't been 1 word out of his mouth about the superconductor. Well, I think it's obvious. After doing the research that I just did, I think it's super obvious that the Tesla folks are trying to replicate it. They probably already have replicated it. They're probably not only replicating it, but trying to figure out use cases. They're trying to figure out if they can do it better. They're trying to figure out how does the patent apply or not apply. They're trying to figure out, is there a way to get around the patent? So I'm thinking they got a big team already working on this. That's my guess. What do you think? Comments below. Do you think that the super room temperature superconductor is real? Do you think that the Elon team is working on this? They have the best material scientists in the world, so I can't believe that they wouldn't be like all of them, like from the minute that the news came out, like, no, we got to go figure out. I come on, that's got to be happening. Okay, you know I'm a big nut on productivity. I have this morning been trying to find out the productivity numbers were supposed to be announced this morning. I get finding some real confusion about this. Maybe you can help me again in the comments below. I can't find any kind of a notification this morning showing that the numbers came out today. What I can find is when I go to the Labor Department stats on productivity that they were announced a week ago. And yet my resources are telling me that they're supposed to be announced this morning. So I'm not sure, but looking at the Q2 results that might have been out for a week or might have just come out this morning, productivity was up dramatically. So at least my analysis was right. This is the first quarter. Q2 is the first quarter where we see a huge increase in productivity across everything, across farm, across manufacturing, every aspect of the economy. Productivity has been leaped up in the second quarter. Now, if that was news today, it should be affecting the market today, assuming, but I have this, and my thought is that the market doesn't understand how important this is, because productivity equals wealth and productivity equals negative. Inflation will go down. More productivity, inflation down. So all of that should be good news for the market. But of course, the market right now is completely going down rather. I'm going to say, okay, I don't think that this is the correction. I think that this is a mini blip. I think that maybe Apple and or Amazon tomorrow could be the catalyst we need to get the market going back into the second leg of the bull. But I could be completely wrong about that. Corrections are really hard to analyze. I will tell you that it's so hard to analyze that I can't make any decision so far. I've not been able to make a decision to take anything off the table. So, excuse me. However, a friend of mine who I taught everything I know, he's the only person I've actually taught everything I know, and he might be listening right now. I taught him everything I know about how to do leaps. He sold part of his portfolio, his leaps, at 299 roughly, and then he bought back last week. So anyway, I should have followed my own advice. I don't think this is the correction. I'm not willing to go to the line and say this is not the correction. My gut is this is not it, and that we will be going back up. The market and Tesla probably going back up either later today or tomorrow. Might take till Monday after Amazon's earnings. Okay. Let's see. Troy Teslike has been reporting that his numbers, I don't report his exact numbers because that's under his Patreon. However, he's saying roughly the same as his shipment numbers, about the same as last quarter. The street believes 466, exactly the same as last quarter. I think that 35,000 units will come out of inventory and will add to those numbers, getting us closer to 500,000. That's my number. But Troy Teslike is respected, and that could be a slight drag on Tesla stock. So, take it for what it's worth, but the street is saying 466, and he's in the ballpark of that. Production numbers, I will agree. I think production numbers will be a little less than last quarter, maybe even, 5, 10, 15,000 less, maybe more, less, even less than that. Anyway, Fortune magazine, another magazine that's typically not a Tesla fan, has a super positive article about the mission of Tesla being the reason for the unassailable lead, and how that mission gives Tesla the superpower of being able to do things like put out superchargers way in advance, build the infrastructure, allow other people to use the infrastructure, and all of those things are adding to the charismatic lead that Tesla has. Guess what? the reason Tesla's in a big lead is because when people get inside of a Tesla or are driven around in a Tesla or see all the crazy stuff that Tesla's cars can do, they want one and they go out and buy one. I mean, that's the main reason why Tesla's in an unassailable lead. But that great article out of Fortune magazine, I love it. Tesla's China July 2023 wholesale results represent a 127% increase year over year compared to last year. 28,217 vehicles were sold in the same month, this month. But what was the headline for this? Was the headline that Tesla was way up over the same month last year? No, the headline was they were down compared to last month. But of course, this is the first month of the quarter. And the first month of the quarter is always when Tesla tends to emphasize exports. And it's clear that they have been emphasizing exports, lots and lots of ships on the water. Anyway, there you go again. I mean, the negative, we've got some positive. So now we're having this mix. We have some positive news and we have negative news, but the negative news continues. The really negative news continues. They're beating to death the range story. Some lawyers this morning have even sued, class action lawsuit with regard to the range story. Oh my gosh, it's so obvious. Don't sue Tesla, sue the EPA. The EPA is the one that does these independent testing in order to come up with the range. And then Tesla can only report that. That's all they can talk about. So, and setting the algorithm, what do you want the algorithm to be set at when you get in your car and you start to drive off? Do you want when you're completely full, do you want the range to guess that you're going to drive at 90? No, you don't. The car doesn't know whether you're going to be driving city streets or whether you're going to be driving in the cold or in the heat. I've driven from Las Vegas to Colorado one time where the temperature went from 115 to 37 degrees within 4 hours of driving time. I mean, the car can't know. So it's got to start with something that is general. And then the longer you drive, it adjusts itself. This is just nonsense. And then this other thing with the steering, I did a whole long analysis of that last night. You can go back and take a look at that. The steering thing is a bunch of nonsense until NISTA has a chance to really evaluate it. Anyway, so the sell-off, will it continue? I don't know. In my gut, I say no. I say it will rebound either today or tomorrow or Monday at the latest. That is not a call. That is a gut. Okay, there's a difference between a call and a gut. So this morning, as we look now, guess what? It's so funny. The NASDAQ is now up slightly. Google, Amazon, Meta have joined Tesla, which is now up $3 a share. Apple is still down slightly. The Cathie Wood stocks are still down, but they're trending more up. The Dow Jones is still negative. Anyway, so that's what's happening. I know I said I don't think this is the downturn, but this could be short-lived as well. We know that. I'm not making a call here. All right, and then let's go here. We'll take a look. The crypto is still in the low 29s. The dollar has been the one exception. The dollar has been a little bit up for the last 5 or 6 days, I think, maybe even a little longer. Gold continues down 1969 this morning, so it was at well over 2,000 last week. Oil is up again, slightly up over $80 again. So people now are putting their money into equity and oil. And the bonds are up strong. The 10-year is up strongly this morning, almost to 4.2. So people are definitely not putting their money in the 10-year. All right, there you go. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit notify, join Patreon, get your free book. Thank you so much for all the people that are now supporting me on Patreon. We blew past the 100. I think we're over 110 now. So keep it up. That is going to really help the channel. It really helps me in terms of being able to afford to continue to do this channel. All right, that's what I've got. That's all I got. And it's been great talking to you.